Hello and welcome to your new favorite paranormal podcast with your hosts Kevin Leonard and Corey, the Ghost Detective Beam. How you doing, Corey? And Happy New
Doing
Year,
good.
Corey.
Yeah, this is, oh, yeah, right. This is, as of filming, this is January 1st, the day we're filming 2025, which I was just thinking about. We started this show in 2023,
Yeah,
going into another year of existence.
yep.
So, thanks uh, for following along, guys. We've had, and right now you can actually, you may have noticed. We have Kevin doing a great job re-uploading since we have two channels. We kind of switch channels in the middle, um, re-uploading our content from the Into the Paranormal Podcast original channel to the Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association's channel. This probably doesn't affect if you're listening on all the wonderful places you can listen to your podcast, but it does affect YouTube. So you may see those re-uploads happening.
Yeah, so
Just thought
anyone
I'd say
that's
that because I know this.
right, anyone that's new to the Kappa channel, you'll be able to witness and enjoy all of our early days of awkwardness and nervousness. And
Just not so much has changed.
I was gonna say it's not like we
I,
gotten
I
professional.
mean, not so
This
much.
high quality content that we put out week to week.
Yeah, week to week. This is, by the way, I did say this started in 2023. This is episode 30.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
things get in the way. We do our
Life,
best, but
lifes.
we're happy that you guys, life does life. But we're happy that you have stuck with us. And hopefully, this will be a really fun year for Into the Paranormal, for Kappa. We'll get into all that stuff, though. Um,
Yeah. And hopefully,
First, we got some
anyone,
pretty interesting.
I was gonna say anyone that is new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that, and you'll be able to catch up with all of the older episodes as I put them up. I'm doing a little bit of re-editing, adding the intro, all of the older episodes. So if you're listening now and you're not caught up, you'll hear a new intro, but you'll have like the old intro and all that stuff. A little bit of remixing of the audio so you can hear us a little bit better, and editing, out some of the stuff and all the cuts and all that editing
Stuff that
jazz.
he now does that he
Yeah.
didn't do when we first started because he's learning and doing a great job. And I'm way too bad with technology to do any of this. I just show up and look, pretty, and it works. I do want to say we do have an event coming up here in a few, well, roughly a little over 2 weeks. Saturday, January 18th, 2025. We will be at the Deltona Regional Library at 2 p.m. Doing our Paranormal 101. This is the time that we kind of talk about everything paranormal investigation wise. Um, we go into our stories, our favorite pieces of evidence. You get to ask us questions. We show you all the wonderful equipment that we use on investigations, and kind of go into what it's like to live the life of a paranormal investigator. So we hope to see people out at that. We love when we're able to talk about our passion, and my favorite part is the Q&A. I love Q&A. Truly, it's my favorite part. So we hope to
Yeah.
see you out there. Remember that it's January 18th, and that's a Saturday at 2 p.m. Deltona Regional
Speaking
Library.
speaking of Q&A, this is a great opportunity to, I know I've done this on our Facebook page. So if you haven't liked the Facebook page, go to Kappa Paranormal on Facebook and give that a like, or is it Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association? Either way, you just Google Kappa Paranormal or visit our website. It's there. Um, so I've asked the question a couple of times or whatever, but here on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment. Um, you brought up Q&A. How would you guys like it if we did an Into the Paranormal esque Q&A here on YouTube. We could schedule a time. Corey and I could go live, maybe add a couple extra members of the team if their schedules align. Possibly have Tracy or Liz, Seth maybe, and we could do something like that on YouTube. I think that would be kind of fun. But
I do too. I think that's a wonderful idea.
yeah.
You're so damn smart.
But I digress. So, Corey, uh, we got a couple of news stories to talk about, like we normally do.
Well, yeah, we have actually, I think we have three interesting ones. Now, okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? Except JFK. Something not right there. But
So go ahead and for this, grab, your salt shaker, take a pinch of it, and put on your tinfoil hats with us.
Okay, bro. Tinfoil's on.
And
yeah.
let's just, let's dabble here and go into the conspiracies.
Oh, you took that from me. Look at you stealing my thunder. No, yeah, these are they're interesting because I have an interesting opinion on them. But so let's talk about the spooky fog, Kevin. Let's start there. It's been foggy. A few
Hmm.
mornings here in the east coast of Central Florida. It's been, and apparently it's been foggy in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And
Most of the country
uh,
apparently has been foggy.
apparently there's something not quite right with the fog. Kevin, would you explain?
So, from what I have gathered, there has been reports of some people claiming that the morning after the fog or the morning of the fog, I think it was December 30th is what I saw, and so just a couple of days, 2 days ago, as of this recording, um, the after the fog, people were saying that there was a film over their pools, a film over their cars. They were saying that the fog smelled like chemicals. I had to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning during the fog. Or was it? Yeah, yeah. And I didn't, be personally, I didn't notice any funky smells or anything strange like that. It was extremely foggy, and it was, odd to be that foggy this time of year. But again, I digress. And a lot of people are saying that since the fog, in just a couple of days, they're complaining that, there's a cough, there's uh, sore throat, sleepy, just lethargic. A lot of people are, sick since, and they're claiming that the fog is the main cause of this. Again, pinch of salt, probably a very unhealthy pinch of salt. Um, could this be some sort of government conspiracy, population control, something like that? If you're wanting to reach deep into the conspiracy hat, or just another pandemic that people are trying to, the government is trying to create, or whatever. That being said, that gave me another thought too that I'll mention later on. But what do you think, Corey?
I'm gonna say probably no. Um, but in general, okay, so okay, people getting sick. I've been sick. Just about everybody I know
Tis the
has
season.
has been sick. Right. So to say, oh, this fog came and now I'm sick, I don't know why it would smell chemically or why you might have a film after fog. Now it is possible in an area, maybe there's a plant that
There is air pollution is
produces
a thing.
chemicals near some of these people that right. So maybe that left a film. That's absolutely possible, I'm sure. And you'd get a weird that chemical smell. So that's possible. I don't think it's some deep government conspiracy. I do think the government hides a lot. It also known
You
as
don't say.
all this drone stuff that's happening. Yeah, right, exactly. The government hides a bunch of crap. So I'm not saying that I don't believe that it's not possible that we have spooky government fog. I just personally don't, see it this time of year. Fog is created when the dew point and the temperature are kind of right there. Dew point being the amount of humidity in the air.
Right, and I was going to say
So
that with the humidity, so
it's
you could have, whatever chemicals, are in the air from the air pollution, the plants, the factories, the cars, the blah 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 blah. And, that can
absolutely
be attached to that water vapor that is in the air
Mhm.
and be when the
All
fog
just
lifts,
molecules.
right, when the fog lifts, it has to go somewhere because gravity. So, and it would stick to, your
Exactly.
nose, your skin, whatever, and could help sicknesses, natural sicknesses. Now is
Yeah.
a government planted sickness out of the realm of possibility. But, you
I
know,
mean, yeah,
you know,
we would, yeah, that's the thing. It's
you
it's
know,
definitely, um, yeah, you know, it's
you know.
possible.
And
Is it
another
what's
thing,
happening? Not yet. Probably not.
and moving from the fog, so Tracy showed me something where it was a lineman, I think, someone that was building the 5G towers. So we're keeping
Hmm.
our tinfoil hats on, guys. Um,
We're getting them tighter.
yeah. So he had opened this the transmitter that goes into 5G towers, and there was a little packet that says COV-19. And basically, he was saying that that is how I don't. It's not like we're monetized, so I don't know if he was saying that that's how the COVID-19 virus was spread. And I know there was a lot of conspiracies about the 5G towers. I never bought into them
And,
because there was 3G, 4G. Now there's 5G. We're about to hit 6G in just a matter of time. But I mean, he was basically saying that they had strict orders not to open a certain box because of radiation. Now, your phone does give off a form of radiation every time it rings. Anytime basically it does anything. So, it's not out of the realm of thought that these 5G towers or any cell tower for that matter has a form of radiation attached to it or
sure.
emitting from it. Um, Now, do I think it's a dangerous amount of radiation? Probably not, but I mean, I wouldn't go climbing it and just hanging out for any length of time. Um,
Yeah.
but I thought that, it was interesting. Now, I don't know this guy from Adam. So, again, tinfoil hats on and some more salt. But it was interesting to see that he was like, "This is the transmitters. They got us putting this up there, and it has the COVID-19." It was like a little packet of something, and it looked almost like I can't think
Uh,
of like a little sauce packet. Um, yeah, it
well,
was.
I mean, also, I highly doubt. I very
Yeah,
highly doubt. People
yeah.
people post anything nowadays. Listen, if we're on conspiracies at this point, if if COVID-19 was man-made, which it very well could be, I think a lot of diseases could be,
Oh yeah.
especially and not, and I don't necessarily mean on purpose too.
Right.
I mean, we do things all the time that have repercussions with all the new chemicals and crap we use. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Um, But I do personally think it's probably COVID-19 was man-made in a way in China by people, and it just accidentally got out. But um, I don't think it was purposely done.
Right. As like a
And
population control or something like
right,
that.
right. It was an accident, and they couldn't control it. That's and then do I think it's coming from a 5G tower? No, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Um, people. I'm not going to say people are crazy because people. I mean, we go into dark buildings and ask if things are there, so
Yeah, we
people
go
think we're.
into empty houses and talk to the walls.
Yeah,
So,
and sometimes they talk back, so that sounds even worse.
yeah.
Um, there was a knife in the wall,
There was. And it said die.
and it said
Oh,
die,
it
and
was
it
there the
always
whole
did.
time. All right,
Oh,
inside joke. You guys
um,
wouldn't know that one.
yeah,
But
I was. Maybe one day we'll tell that story. Once you know
so
what? If you guys want us to go live on YouTube and do a Q&A, we will tell that story.
yeah. So
But yeah,
um moving into a little bit more paranormal topics. I was reading something. Tracy actually brought this to my attention too. Um, there's a tribe in Brazil that had never heard of aliens. You know, didn't know what aliens in the the modern term or anything was. But they were shown a picture of a gray alien and said that, oh, that's the Wabu, and they live underground. So they immediately recognized the photo, or I guess an artist's interpretation of a gray alien, and said that that is the Wabu. They live underground, and they knew all about from the picture. So I thought that was very interesting. I'm trying to find some more like some sources because I've seen a couple of videos and Reddit posts about it. So I'm trying to find like sources for it. When I do, I'll put them in the description. I'll put sources for everything that we're talking about, like we usually do, down in the description and in the show notes
I
on podcast version.
I think if it's true,
That's
it's
compelling. That's
cool.
interesting.
It's
Yeah.
it's pretty. It is interesting that word that we love. But really, if you showed someone that and they're like, "Oh, we know what that is," now does that mean does that prove the existence of extraterrestrial life and gray aliens? No, it
Right.
could very well just be something in their culture that happens to
To
look
resemble.
like that.
Right.
Right.
It,
But it's
it,
still interesting.
it's akin to cave drawings of UFOs
Yep.
and Bigfoot
Right.
and
Right.
dragons,
Hmm.
from
Exactly.
across countries that represent or resemble each other. There's drawings of Bigfoot and aliens in America, and there's cave drawings in every part of the world that is similar to like the ones here. So it's very akin to that. It's interesting to say the least.
Yeah. I think to say the very least, it's interesting, and those are the things that it's hard for me to discount. These very, the old, and it comes down to the same thing with Sasquatch for me when you talk about Native Americans and their lore and cave drawings in South America that look the same as cave drawings and hieroglyphics from Egypt and the
Hmm.
Middle East, and those are the things that are kind of fascinating, that all these people have these same type drawings. How are they seeing the same things on different sides of the earth? So many Native American, whether it be um, the southeast here, in Florida, all the way up through Alaska and the Canadian territories, and they all have depictions of a big hairy man. You
Yeah.
know, well, it's excuse me, it's fascinating
Yeah.
and shows a historical significance to this. And these people did not have communication.
Right.
So I mean, they're all coming up with the same.
Yeah, it's not like they could just pick up a phone and like, hey, look what I think I saw, and they send a picture to,
Right.
another person in, Canada. I mean, that
Exactly.
didn't exist for another hundreds of years,
Exactly. It's when
thousands
that
of
kind of
years,
things
honestly.
happen,
Yeah.
thousands. Yeah, it goes back thousands. You have to think some of this history goes back from the when the great migration happened over the land bridge up in Alaska.
Right. I mean, you got tribes that literally never crossed paths, and they had images, drawings of the same thing essentially.
And to really nail this home, the land bridge that from Asia to North America that existed, um, which started the Great Migration over here.
Hmm.
Even before that, if you look at records of Indochina and all these, they have these kind of creatures as well, and they still do today. We talk about the Vietnamese wild man
Hmm.
and the Yowie and the Yaren in China. They go back. So you think of the things like that. It's like, well, something had to have started that. You know, yeah. It's quite the coincidence.
It has to come from somewhere.
Those, and I'm going to draw a blank on what those lines are. They're in. Oh my
Ley,
gosh, is it
not ley
Mexico?
lines.
Not ley lines. They're big like drawings, and you can only see these things
Oh,
sketched out from the air. And I'm trying to
Okay. I
remember
know what
where
you're
this
talking
is.
about.
I can't
It's
remember
like
if it's
there's
South
one of
America
like
or
a fish or something
right.
like that, and there's
Yep.
only one of like a bird.
Yes. I
I
think
know
it's
what you're talking
Is it in
about. I
Mexico?
believe so. I want to believe it's like from like the Maztec,
Aztec or Inca. It was
Aztec.
one of those the big
Yeah.
tribes down there. And I mean, you look at that and say, well, how did they know what they
What they were even drawing, like, I mean,
because the
because you could
size of
only
these
see it from
things,
the air.
right? The size of these things.
They're
I
massive.
mean, you couldn't even see it from the mountains that were around
Right.
them. So,
Let me see if I can pull it up and get like a size. Um,
because it's stuff like that, and that. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't have done it. I don't know. I think a lot of these ancient civilizations were much, much smarter than we give them credit for. I mean, they were doing math before. I mean, the things that they were doing,
right. I mean, you look at
especially like
the pyramids, the pyramids.
yeah, that and what. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, and what these people were doing with astronomy is just mind blowing.
Geoglyphs, Corey.
Okay, yep. I mean, it's things like that that really make you question. Not saying it helps prove anything because it doesn't, but it definitely makes you sit back and go, huh? Makes you at least, you know,
Naz, Nazca,
think.
Nazca. That's what I
Yes,
was thinking of.
yes. The
Uh,
Nazca lines.
some lines were 30 miles long.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. The biomorphs. These animal and plant designs can be 50 to 1,200 feet long, which is as large as the Empire State Building.
I
And
mean,
to
that's
draw
crazy.
these things, they they couldn't see what they were drawing. I mean, they could see what they were drawing, but they couldn't see the big picture, so to speak. But yeah,
Right.
the size of the Nazca geoglyphs varies, but some of the largest are the lines, where it's just the lines Some straight lines can be up to 30 miles long. The lines are usually more than 33 centimeters wide and can be as wide as 1.8 miles or meters. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, holy, that's quite the line.
Yeah, 6 feet
I
inside
mean,
meters. Yeah, I was going to say 33 centimeters wide, and okay, yeah. But yeah, a pair of legs discovered using AI is more than 250 feet. Humanoid, there's a humanoid figure. Well, that's 6.6 feet wide and 13 feet tall. It's in Peru.
okay, yep, that makes
Yeah,
sense. I knew it was
yeah,
Mexico or South America.
right.
That's
That's insane.
yeah,
And
it's crazy to think about.
yeah, even down there in South America, it wasn't. I mean, we across the globe they had those cave drawings and images of Bigfoot, of aliens, or some sort of spacecraft. And like we
Yeah,
were saying earlier, these tribes, these people never cross paths, but yet they all claim to have witnessed something, or because that was basically their diaries. They would write
right. I
them
mean,
or
it's
draw them on the wall,
yeah,
because there was drawings of a horse, a pig, things that they saw in their everyday life. They would draw it on the wall and stuff like that, and that's how they would communicate. Probably, like some of the drawings might say, these animals migrate this way or whatever. That's how they communicate with each other. And then there were these images of a craft in the sky or people with animal heads and stuff like that. So could
yeah,
that be a shapeshifter in early times? I mean, I know
well,
there's a lot of like Egyptian gods and stuff. They saw their
right.
gods with, you know, dog heads or cat heads or something
Like the
like that.
Sphinx, and
Right.
right,
And
right,
it's all possible that other civilizations saw the same thing of their gods,
yeah,
civilizations
100%.
that's come and gone. They had similar beliefs. That's very possible. But or could this be something that they saw, one day while they were doing whatever it is that they do during the day? Could they have seen a shapeshifter or a werewolf or something like that? I
And
mean,
we can talk about, we're talking about like extraterrestrials and cryptids in that light. A lot, you have a lot of ancient texts depicting seeing spirits
mm-hmm. Yeah,
as well. A lot of ancient, including the Bible.
yep.
The Bible as well depicts um, talking to spirits. So in a different way,
Right,
but
because
it's one of
a lot of times back in like the ancient civilizations, it was much like the of the modern civilizations where they would have like your mediums, like your shamans from these ancient tribes or whatnot would
right,
talk to the spirits, maybe of your loved ones or something like that, and they would communicate with the spirit world, much like mediums of, today, early in the 18th century, 19th century, and so on.
right,
So, there's different forms. The style may have changed, the look may have changed, but the essence of it has always stayed the same, and
right,
they stemmed from somewhere.
right. Yeah, I mean, stories get passed down, but they there's something they have an origin story
Yeah.
somewhere, and the fact that around the world, whether it be cryptids, spirits, extraterrestrial spacecraft, in many of their ancestral texts and cave drawings, and they have the same things. It's fascinating, at the very least,
Hmm.
and who knows what that proves, but and how that relates to what people see today. We have ongoing, drones. that's still happening. That's not going away. Honestly, there's a really good video. If anyone watches Dan Bell on YouTube, he just uploaded a fantastic. He chased some drones in New Jersey, and one zoomed right above his truck, and like it's still these are still happening.
It is crazy.
And
I saw a video, speaking of drones, of one crashing, and it literally crashed, made a small explosion. Someone saw this happen, and they filmed it. The video is somewhere on the internet, and they go to investigate, and it's gone. There's nothing there. So it's
weird stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
weird
mean,
stuff.
I'm not saying that the drones are alien, and I'm not saying that they're government.
Right.
I don't. I mean, it's so crazy that we literally still to this day, like they've been going on for weeks, and we are still basically in day one. Still
Yeah,
mystery.
no one's any closer to figuring that out. Honestly, I don't think we will.
Oh, they're
I,
all over the place too. We talked about the ones in Florida. On the other video that I posted to the channel, I showed a video of, I believe it was in Oregon. Um, I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, I've said there's reports of them in Texas,
yeah,
Tennessee.
it's
Um,
literally every Pennsylvania's
yeah,
had. I mean, it's right next to New Jersey, but there's been
right. The New
I mean,
York,
it's everywhere. It's
yeah.
everywhere. So yeah,
You
we'll
know
keep
what?
up with that.
You know what we haven't had lately, or I haven't seen it? A good Bigfoot picture or video.
Yeah, he's hibernating. It's winter.
Apparently. I mean,
He's
in the past year, I think we haven't had.
we had a
Was it earlier in the year
we
that
had a
we?
couple. It was earlier in the year that we had some come out.
Because I remember
Now
we spoke about one on the show.
the one of the train, and he was out in the field doing his Bigfoot stuff. I I think I was on the side of probably a hoax. I think you were too.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
but
want to see one where we're on the side of there might be something to this. But unfortunately,
well,
most of those where we're like, there might be something to this, they're always the worst quality.
oh, the phone's shaking like this, and
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
blob, and you're like, oh, what's the blob? And you'll never know.
right.
That's the problem. Well, I see it. It's the same with a lot of on Facebook. People in these groups are posting photos of ghosts, and for some reason, the ghost is in a picture that looks like it was taken with like the same camera that Abe Lincoln had photographs take. It's like, why does every picture of a ghost look like crap?
Yeah,
It's the same reason a lot of the blob squatch photos exist, because they're not real. They're
yeah,
not. Now sometimes it might just be that the picture's not good, but I think a lot of times the reasoning is it's it's not real.
yeah.
But um well, that's awesome. I'm glad we. So what can we expect from Into the Paranormal and Kappa in 2025?
Well, I think with Into the Paranormal, I really liked our last episode where we had Mike on. So I think we should uh, reach out to some more guests and
Yes.
have some interesting conversations about different things. You know, it could be cryptids. We could have a guest who that's what they do, maybe an author or something that wrote.
Listen, if anyone out there knows Bobo Fay from Finding Bigfoot, I'd love to talk to him.
But I mean, we could get, we could talk to uh, quote unquote experts in cryptozoology.
Yeah.
Maybe we can, I'm even down to have members from another team and we can discuss how different teams work together. So you can expect more guest episodes, but I do want to keep the episodes or the show, I guess, lack of better words, intimate, where it's just, Corey and I, or, the times where we have Tracy on, that's always fun, or someone from the team will join us or something. So we're going to stick to our basics, we're going to stick to how we started it. I mean, we're not, we're going to just be us. That's all we set out to do, set out to be, and that's just us, and just talk to each other, talk about things that we find interesting regarding the paranormal. Um, I say this so much that I want to get back on a schedule, or at least, a video a week. I'm not saying, every Friday or every Saturday like we used to, coming out with an episode. Um, but I do really want to get back to a more fluid schedule of uploads. So you can expect us to get better at that. That'll be our New Year's resolution, Corey. Get back on some sort of fluid schedule to where we're putting out episodes and making Into the Paranormal the best that it could possibly be. Making Kappa the best that it can possibly be. And yeah, going from there. We still want to read your stories. We had
Yes.
one person sent an amazing story.
It
So
was, yeah, incredible.
if you have a story, Corey says at the end of every episode, send it into the paranormal pod at Gmail. You can send it to info at Kappa Paranormal. You can message us at Facebook / Kappa Paranormal. There is so many ways for you guys to send and submit your stories that you would like us to read, and tell your experience. I mean,
Yes.
we want to hear from you. We want to incorporate you guys into the show, because without you, there is no us. Um, what do you see for 2025, Corey, involving Kappa Into the Paranormal? Do you have the same views? Do you want to do something like
Yeah.
different? I
Yeah, no,
mean,
I think I'd love to have some guests on, some experts in cryptozoology, maybe even some experts just in zoology and talking about if they think these things are even possible. I think that would be a
that's a
lot of
great
fun.
idea. Yeah.
Experts in maybe in parapsychology,
Anthropology and stuff. Yeah.
things like that that can takes the science of these things, and I think that would be I would people that are in the scientific fields that doesn't have to be him in general, but I have like if you love Bigfoot, you probably know who Jeff Meldrum is. He's big. He's a Bigfoot researcher, but he's also a scientist in foot morphology and stuff. And it'd be cool to have people like that. I think that'd be neat. Kappa, it's been a while. We've had a lot of things. I just want to get back out and investigating with the team that I love to investigate with, and
Yeah.
I know we will be doing that this year, and
Oh yeah.
I look forward to that. So that's
Yeah.
that's really what I just want to do with Kappa. Just get back out there. We've had a bit of a hiatus because, as we've said, life is life, and
Yeah, because we
um,
we touched on it a little bit in the last episode in the beginning. Like I think Halloween was the last part of any sort of normalcy in our lives. I mean, we've had family members dealing with some serious health issue on mine and Corey's side. I mean, me and Tracy, Corey too, the entire team. Like we've said it from day one. We are paranormal investigators. We don't get paid, and we don't accept payment for our services that we give to our clients, or any investigation that we do, any research. It's 100% free. So we do have 9 to 5 jobs. Speaking of, in my household, me and Tracy are, we were working day in, day out. Corey is working day in, day out. Everyone in our team is working. And that's not an excuse. That's just life. You guys at home, you're working. I mean, you know how it is. So, but that on top of, I mean, some serious health issues, and just it's been very, very chaotic on top of the holidays and dealing with, the health issues during holidays. A lot of you can relate. Most of you can relate. So we've kind of stepped back a little bit, but that doesn't mean that we're completely done or anything like that. Kappa will continue to muster on. We will every year we come out stronger, we come out better. I mean, we have Corey's said it a lot. We have the best team that we've had thus far right now. Um, so, I mean, that's the thing. We always get bigger, get better, and we strive, we strive to better the field in our own little way. Any way that we can. Even if that's mainly talking to you guys on Spotify and YouTube and Apple Music and Amazon. Subscribe. But also, we do have a lot of plans. I have a lot of plans. I'm always thinking. That's one thing about me. Like I'm always thinking of things that we can do with the capabilities that we have. So one of the reasons, you guys that have been with us since episode one, like Corey said in the beginning, thank you so much. Stay with us. If you are listening on Spotify or any of those amazing podcast platforms, please consider subscribing to the Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association YouTube channel because we do have a lot of things that are in the works. The last upload on the channel that was a sort of reaction. I just wanted to talk about the drones, honestly. Um, and I'll continue to do some stuff like that. That's not an Into the Paranormal thing. It's not necessarily a Kappa thing. That's just kind of a me thing. So, anything that, comes out where I don't think it'll warrant an entire episode and it may turn out, we might have, if anything happens with the drones, we may, do a drone episode. But, I wanted to kind of look at these video clips and some of this footage that people had caught and put out and kind of break it down, look at it with you guys and talk about it or whatever. So we'll keep doing things like that. Um, you might.
and yeah,
Mhm.
oh, you're
What?
good.
Oh, I was gonna say you might see some things on the channel from other members, not just me and Corey. I know for the past couple of years you've just been looking at our adorable faces, but you might see, some content with some other members of the team. We have a couple, like I said, we got a couple of things that we're working on, and it'll be entertaining, it'll be fun, and we can't wait to share it with you guys. I will say one thing that I am personally working on. I don't know if I'll turn it into a podcast. I was thinking about it, but it will be a Kappa Paranormal Presents, and I'm going to say it, so that means I have to do it. So I kind of put the pressure on myself to motivate me. It will be a ghost stories type deal. So it'll be here on the channel. Like I said, I may do it in podcast form, and then I'll put it on, something like Spotify or whatever. But and it'll have its own thing or whatever. But it will be a almost a storytelling episodic side whatever project.
Side quest.
Side, that's what was in my head, side quest. But side project. So be on the lookout for, a ghost stories thing in the soon future. So be on the lookout for that. I hope you guys like it. It'll just be a fun thing that I kind of want to do. But yeah, I kind
Awesome.
of
Well,
rambled and went on a little tangent there.
it sounds like we got a lot of fun things. Before we go, I do want to, from everyone here, two things. Everyone here at Kappa and Into the Paranormal. One, we want to recognize the death of Jimmy Carter, our former president. Um, you know, that's always, I mean, it doesn't happen often in America. We don't have many former presidents. And also to
The
the
longest
people,
living president.
100 years old. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
And also to the victims of the terrorist attacks today or yesterday in New Orleans.
Yes.
Um, and what I'm seeing is another terrorist attack in Las Vegas at Trump Tower there,
Yes. Yeah.
that they're investigating. So all the victims of violence that's happened, and plane crash. I don't know if you saw the South Korean
Yep.
plane crash.
Yep.
Just very sad.
There's been
So
a
our
couple
heart,
of plane crashes that were
there
very
has
similar. Yeah.
it's been strange actually how many similar there have been.
Yeah.
So to all of the one that in Kazakhstan too. So
Yep.
those two in particular, but um, our heartfelt condolences for people who have lost loved ones and lost their lives themselves. Um, just wanted to shout that out.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you, your families, in that tough time. So can't imagine. And hopefully 2025 can bring a little bit of peace.
Yeah.
Still,
Yep.
but well, Kevin, where can they find you?
You can find me on all social platforms and across the internet at Kappa Paranormal, or just Google Kappa Paranormal and they will all be right there. I am in all of that, or you can just look me up on Facebook. You'll find my Facebook page, Kevin Leonard. That will be not really a lot posted on it, but it's my Kappa page. And you can just follow the Kappa page at facebook.com/Kappa Paranormal. Follow us on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's Twitter. Instagram. Again, not a lot gets posted on Instagram, but follow us and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe on this YouTube channel to prepare yourself for all the things that we talked about just a moment ago. Corey, where can they find you, my good sir, my ghost
Well,
enthusiast friend?
yes. Well, you can basically find me Facebook. Uh, that's about it nowadays.
All
Facebook and
right.
Instagram. Yeah, Corey Beam, and of course I'm hanging out on most Kappa socials as well. So I'm there too.
Yes, and Discord. We had a couple of
Cannot
people
forget
join
Discord.
Discord. Yeah.
We
Go
have,
to the Kappa
and
page. I believe it's still the pinned post. Join the Discord server. We are
please
there,
do.
but it is your space. We want you guys to make it your home for all things paranormal. You can talk about the cryptids. You can talk about the aliens. You can talk about the ghosts. You can talk about literally everything. Don't care. I mean, keep it, respectful. Uh, just be an adult. I mean, talk
Yep.
to each other with respect. That's why I had to disclaim since I said don't care,
Luckily,
but
though,
you
that's
know what I
never
mean.
been an issue. We got lots
Right.
of people that have joined. Really cool.
Yes.
So definitely head over and talk to us on Discord. We're all there, and the whole team is on Discord. So,
Yep.
and so is, as we mentioned last episode, Mike Atencio,
Yeah.
who would love
Mike's there.
to talk about phantomology with you. So
Yep.
head on over.
With all of that being said, I have been Kevin Leonard. That has been Corey Beam. And this has been Into the Paranormal.
Here's to 2025, guys. We'll see you later.